Bonjour. Hey, we're here. welcome everyone. Scotch on the Bayou for another Tuesday night. And we're going to be talking about some Glen Grant, about the weekend, about all kinds of things that are going on. There is a reason why our color scheme and Mike is sitting up there. We'll get into all of that. I want to see who all has joined us this evening. Welcome to the Tuesday. And hey, it would be Kenny Joe. Great to see you here, friend, in Camp Drammer. Awesome. And there's Carlos, to Camp Drammer. Awesome. Good to see you, friend. Good morning to you too, Andrew. Thanks for being here. And Martin, the Whiskey Bronco. He is here. Always super content. Y'all go check his channel out. Jimmy Jazz, good morning. Yes, to Andrew and everyone. Good to see you. And Sugar Kitty is here. Hello, my friend. Yeah, get your Glen Grant 15 out because I thought I had a 15, but then we realized we killed that at the camp. So we're going to be asking you how you like that 15 for sure. Thanks for being here, my friend. I do appreciate it. Hey, Sandra, y'all, down to our buddy down to Bayou, Trooper Henry, and another down to Bayou. Hey, Doug, good to see you too. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And this guy, West Bayou, neighbor of my guest tonight. Hey, Zach. Good to see you. Did a shout out for your birthday last week. I hope you're doing well. And this lovely lady, all things Irish and then some. Cheers, my friend. Hey, Stacey, check out 4-Leaf Whiskey. Good stuff. Man, you can learn a whole lot in a little bit of time. Check her out for sure. Sanja, hey, Martin's in Camp Drammer and got all his icons working. That's awesome. I really appreciate everybody being in. We're going to have fun tonight. I'm actually starting this new series, and we've kind of done it a little bit even with the one we did on Kilhoman. And the series is A Flight with Friends. And so the Kilhoman, we did all Kilhoman. Tonight we're doing all Glen Grant, but the series could be something else. It could be like all sherry or port or bourbon matured or a particular independent bottler or something where we're building a flight, something completely random, but you're having a flight with a friend. So I'm going to smatter these in with our lives as we go through the season and have a lot of fun with that. It's a great way to bring people onto the channel. You can get more than one opinion about something, and for the most part, you might have one of these drams. So you're going to be right there to be able to drink along with everybody else. So I'm pretty super excited about what we got going on tonight. So yeah, get your Glen Grants out. Jimmy Jazz has got the 14-year-old SMWS 9 is the Glen Grant .224 61.7. Yowza. And I thought this one I had at 59.1 was going to be stout. So interesting. I'm going to need a play-by-play on that one as well. The 15 Sugar Kitty, you got that. Jimmy, you got the, you got that SMWS for sure. Cool. So, hey, Katie, got to see Katie this weekend, Katie and Ethan. That was awesome. Thanks for being here, friend. Let me know if you got some Glen Grant you're pouring, and if not, let me know what else you're pouring. But yeah, super weekend, y'all. The weekend was so good on many facets, but I need a little time out and a super excited moment because we are wearing purple and gold for a reason, because LSU, my alma mater, Mark's alma mater, yes, indeed, won the national championship of women's basketball this weekend handedly over an absolutely fantastic team with a three-point shooter who will go down in history. Mad props to Caitlin Clark, but the Tigers reigned supreme. That was a hella game. I am just now getting to where I'm not crying of joy because I played basketball in high school. Huge fan when I was in college of women's basketball. Women's basketball does not get the rep that it should. And Kim Mulkey, Louisiana native, I grew up wanting to be that basketball player that she was when she was at Louisiana Tech. And she's just a damn winner. I mean, she just wins, wins, wins. All she does is win. And put together a fantastic team, and very proud of them. We have a great friend who was on 4 of the Final Four teams. Ashley, probably one of the best defensive player LSU's ever had in women's basketball. And soft spot for Coach Bob Starkey as well, who was with that grouping that were at those previous Final Fours. First time LSU has won a national championship in basketball. Men haven't done it. The women have done it. More to come. So hats off and a big slanja y'all to my Bengal Tigers. You got Mike over here. Purple and gold. Live gold. Love purple. Live gold. Forever LSU. Slanja. Okay. So my rant is over for that. But yes, the weekend, if that wasn't enough, the weekend featured my whiskey bestie, Jennifer, coming in from Houston. Want to bring her in now. We had the best.
Hello.
We had the best time.
Of course we did.
I mean, how is it hard not to have a good time? We started out, you met me at the camp Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always fun to like drive back roads in South Louisiana. And
it was a very peaceful drive. I really enjoyed it. I had my country playlist on, some like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash going. It's a good drive.
Awesome. Yeah. It was nice and chill. I mean, it was a little warm, don't get me wrong, but we had a nice breeze.
Got a little sweaty.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes you sweat when you drink whiskey, but in South Louisiana, you got to dress appropriately because you're gonna. But no, we sat out. Mark has been working so crazy on the pier that goes through the swamp to the river. And then he's cleaned all that up, did a lot of board replacement, stuff like that, had it all teed up for us. And we just sat out there and polished off a fantastic bottle. Yeah, it just...
not a bad way to kick off the weekend.
Pretty crazy. Just to give folks an idea, this is a bottle that I was gifted the heel of a 24-year-old Brora. And yeah, so we just kind of sat there on the dock and had a glass, and it was ever so wonderful. Just amazing dram. It really was. So we did that Friday, just kind of chilled out, and went and put a hurtin' on some crawfish and royal red shrimp at Carbo's, our little place there in the corner. There in Pigeon. It was very tasty. And for those who want to know, Jennifer knows how to eat crawfish. She's very good at it now. She's upping her game for sure.
Hey, I'll practice all I need to.
No, oh darn, make me eat that crustacean, right?
Eat piles upon piles of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was great. So yeah, so Katie and Doug know each other, so that was good that they got to see this guy. Hey, what's up?
Hello, mother and father. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Rice family, for supporting your daughter and letting her get into mischief with me. I promise I won't ever get her in a situation where we need bail money, but we will have a lot of fun.
Be a good story though.
Just saying, Hey Mike, good to be here. Good to see you here, friend. I hope you're having have some Glen Grant. If you have, great. If you don't, that's okay too. Because it is one of those that's kind of a hit and miss on being able to see or find. It's not something. I mean, we've had there's core range, which we're going to go, and I'll put that in the chat or in the description of the video. So if you haven't seen that, tonight we have 5 drams, 5. So the probability of adorableness towards the end is highly likely.
2 cast strength in there, yeah, probably.
Yeah, you know. So we are going to start with the 12 year. Then I swore I had a 15. I swore. I mean, I looked all over the place. I'm like, wait a minute. It's got to be here. It's got to be here. I couldn't find it in the house. Oh, it's got to be at the camp. Okay. Couldn't find it at the camp. So then I realized we drank it at the camp. It was gone. We killed it at the camp. So,
died a noble death.
Right. Yes. Thank you for your service. But I do have a blog review of that on scotchonthebayou.com. It was one of the very first ones I did. And, that particular one, I know Sugar Kitty's got that 15. So, let me know what you think about that. But I got a lot of tropical notes on that one, a lot of banana and like mango, little pineapple. It's a very delightful dram. And that 15 year is a batch strength. So it's a 50 ABV. Nice. These other core range are all at 43, which is kind of my,
Whoa.
Come on, give me 3 more.
Yeah.
Just give me a little bit more.
Is the 15 just bourbon? Is there a little bit of sherry on it, or do we know?
I think it is just bourbon.
I
could probably pull my website up because I know I have the casking on there. But yeah, I would pretty much say recalling the color that it definitely was that. So but yeah, so tell me, Sugar Kitty, what you think about that 15. When you get there, I want to see who else was here. Yeah. Oh, hey, Devin. Awesome. As a previous LSU athlete, I'm fired up. Go Tigers. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for being here. And go Tigers. Always a Tiger. Always a Tiger. Yeah. Let's see. Well, we're just kind of looking through. Yes. As Mark would say, leave it to me to create a new reason, a new way to use a fishing rod holder. Like, let me put this in there. But no, Kevin, whiskey tastes really, really good when it's shared. And that was particularly great. I got to have a dram with Kevin. He's in the chat most often. And he's like, I've had it. I've enjoyed it. You go check. And I'm like, I know one person in particular I want to share this with. And so it was just it's just a beautiful example of the generosity of our community, for Kevin to share that kind of a dram, and then for me to be able to have it with Jennifer on the dock with a breeze, watching big fish flop around in the water. Yeah, that was. So it was a pretty fancy one, Martin, but yeah, it was really, really special. Hey, good evening to you too, Michael. Thanks for being here. Yay. Oh goodness. So it's been a while. Several years since I had Glen Grant. Need to revisit it. The 12 was dreamy. So tell me why. Before we get into this one. So the 12 is the first one we're going to pour. What got you into Glen Grant? Like, how did you, Jennifer, get into Glen Grant?
Well, that's that's half the fun with hanging out with whiskey folks, because they teach me new things. I mean, I didn't know much about Glen Grant. Did we, correct me if I'm wrong, did we have one at the Barrel Thief in Seattle? Wasn't that one of the SMWS that you ordered, or no?
Probably. If I saw one, I probably did. I'd have to go back and look at pictures.
Well, anyway, yeah, I mean, I remember you telling me about it, and I was at the Lock Bar a couple weeks ago, and I had, of course, thanks to our friend Chad that I met at the Victoria Whiskey Festival, Chad got me into Ben Romick. And so I saw Ben Romick on the list at the Lock Bar, and I was like, oh, I got to have one. So I had a Ben Romick 10. And then I was just, of course, poking around looking for something else. And I saw they had the Glen Grant 12 by the glass. I said, hey, you know what? Let me give that a go. And I just, like, the first sniff, I was like, what a delightful little marzipan treat this stuff is. You know, I really enjoyed my experience with the 12. And this is coming from like a super heavy Isla drinker, right? Which I'm not just a one trick pony with Isla whiskeys. I promise I like other things. So yeah, I mean, it is a very light style, you know, relatively speaking. And I think they go for a lot of purification, you know, of the vapors in their distillation process. So they're aiming for that lighter profile.
Yeah.
But I love it. And it's just delightful, fresh fruit, marzipan. I just thought the 12 was absolutely lovely. And I'm just excited to get into the rest of them, especially the 2 SMWS bottles we have too.
So, I mean, the lightness, I mean, I've got this, you poured my sample. We're going to try to do something together. Like, yeah, we ran out of time. So that's why we're doing this together. So everybody could join us. But definitely it looks very bourbon, but according to what I've read, there is some sherry maturation in there. Probably a little dab will do you kind of thing, you know, just a little bit to throw a little bit of color, maybe even a little sweetness to it. But yeah, the nose is very nice and bright.
It is really pretty fresh fruit on the nose.
And you know, it's not too sweet.
It's not. It read sweet. It's funny. It read sweet having had it right after a Benromic. But you know how that Benromic is, right? It can be a little like heavy and even musky or funky, you know. So the Glen Grant read really sweet after the Benromic, but trying it like in isolation, it's actually not as sweet as I would have thought.
So it's got at 43%, there's not a lot of heat, but the finish gets really warm. Don't you think? Like right after you have a sip. And then it just kind of hangs there.
Kind of gets you a little bit on the finish. But what got you into Glen Grant? Because I remember asking you about it one time and you had really good things to say about it. So
yeah, the next dram is what it was my intro. Okay. And it was very early on in my whiskey journey. Yeah, I'm gonna have to visit that again a little bit. And that would be trying to remember exactly where. Oh, it was early on in my whiskey journey, and I was kind of like wanting to buy a bigger bottle, you know, and something that maybe wasn't just the 10 or the 12 at the time. I'd started figuring out just Glens were some. The thing is like I think there are a couple of bottles I'd like to redo in my early years of my journey.
Absolutely.
And there's a Glendronach I wish I still had, because I don't think I could have appreciated it as much as I could now. Then tasted really good, but I didn't.
I wasn't somewhere.
Cerebrally, I was not there with it yet, and I was like, man, you know, I can't be upset over that. There's so many bottles. Just keep going, you know.
There are.
And I can remember saying, "Oh, this one is 16 years old. Wow, you know, I'm gonna get that one. I'm so excited." 16. I think I got it at Calandro's. Got it, absolutely loved it, and then found out it was discontinued. And that's how it goes. Glen Grant 16 here. Let me pull that back. So maybe I'll look there. Yeah. Just lovely, lovely, lovely bottle. And
nose on it.
I'm having
your little sample bottle of it here.
Yep. Pour.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. And I remember rationing it out. We have a great whiskey bar in town called the Lost Cove, and they had it there. And every time I would go, I would just say, okay, I got that at home, got that at home, got that. I'm going to kill that Glen Grant at the bar. just keep.
It's mine.
And it may actually have been there when I first had that. I'm stepping back now, because they would have half price nights on Sundays. And Mark and I went in there one time. I think that's where I had it first.
Okay.
And then I found a bottle of it. Then, oh man, that nose.
Yeah. This is my first
Very malty compared to the 12, right?
Yep.
Very malty.
Richer, deeper notes for sure. Like the fruit notes are deeper too. Like the 12 is just light and fresh, which I really like about it.
Yeah. So, do you recall the price of the 12?
Oh gosh, at Total Wine, it was probably not much over $50. Yeah, real affordable for sure.
Well, the 16 is a little harder to find. They are out there. Everwind brought me, because he knew how much I love the 16, brought me a sample of the bottle he had. This bottle was gifted to me because I'm a wonderful pseudo sister to Mark Broda from Scotch for Dummies.
I wish you were on the show to comment right now.
We're not going to comment as to why he felt compelled that he needed to buy me this bottle, but he owed me that and more, and we'll just leave it there. But he gifted me this bottle, and because he knew how much I absolutely love it. Let me know if anybody else has got the 16. Andrew's asking if I've visited. I haven't yet. It's on my list, and I've been corresponding with the distillery on dates because I really, really do want to add that to the tour.
Well, I was looking them up, and it seems as though they've got some like very beautiful Victorian gardens on site too. Like it looks like a really nice place to visit.
Yeah,
that would be definitely worth a go.
So that they're they're just a little history of them. So they started in 1840. They're a Speyside, so they're kind of just north of Dufftown on the way to Elgin. Okay, Andrew, James, whoever else might be in here, Elgin or Elgin. I am a stickler for pronunciations, and I know I'm going to butcher them with my accent, but I really want to get that right before I go there.
How do you even say the Texas one? Is it Elgin? Because there's an Elgin, Texas.
There's an Elgin, Texas. Yeah,
it's Elgin, right?
Yeah.
So
I would assume, but
naturally
you don't want to do that. But yeah, so they go in there, and they started. James and John Grant started it. They were the first distillery with electrical lights. Which, fun fact, LSU was one of the first football stadiums with electrical lights. And why was that? Because everybody worked during the day and they could only get off and play and watch a football game at night. So that's why it was one of the first stadiums that had electrical lights.
And those guys were instrumental in the railroad too, right? Because they were like, hey, if we're going to be producing a bunch of whiskey, we need a way to transport it. So I think they had a lot to do with like rail lines as well. So they did a lot when they started.
They did, and I mean that's why Speyside is Speyside, because they got that rail line put through, and so yeah, really pretty cool.
Get on a train and just go through Speyside, stop off at every little distillery.
That's right. So Martin he started off with the 12. And then he's going straight to the cast strength.
9.225.
Expert generalist. An expert generalist. I assimilate that some days.
Yolk and vanilla category. That sounds good.
Oh, so definitely a bourbon matured 17 year. Interesting. Yum. Wow. So interesting how the 12 and the 16 are both 43%. This feels like it's got a lot more body.
It does.
And a little bit more oily. Oily or more dimensional on the palate. Sweetness popped up in comparison to the 12. That's why I love putting things next to each other. It makes contrast. Yeah, I mean, he's just really, he figured that part out. I mean, it's more noticeable than if you're just drinking one, I think.
Yep, for sure.
Goodness. Yeah. If y'all could hit thumbs up, that always helps. We've had a uh, nice uptick in followers. We're just under 1,300.
Nice.
Woo!
Nice.
Yay. Hey, D. Oliver. Yes, go Tigers. As we say down in the New Orleans area, that's for sure. It was a hell of a game. Hell of a game. So it's El Gin. Okay. So like a good gin. Huh. Oh, in Arizona, it's El Gin. Okay. I gotcha. So I knew you would know. I wonder if they still have the 170th anniversary of the major brand. Yeah, and it's a hard D. So unless you're talking about the
so no gin, no Elgin.
Elgin, thank you. I always like to know where I'm going before I get there, and I don't want to sound like the country bumpkin. How you people doing up in Elgin? Just kind of cringe. I don't want that.
It's all right. You're cute. You can get away with it.
I know. Well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Don't have any Glen Grant, but Glen Spey. Close enough for now. That's for sure. Yeah.
I've never had Glen Spey. That's another thing I need to try.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work my way through all the. There's a lot of Glens. A lot of Glens out there.
Lots of Glens. Are you going to start singing Robin Lang?
Glenfiddich, Glendronach, Glenlivet, Glen Grant. Can you do without them? If you must, no, I can't. That was looking at you, Robin Lang.
People, I mean, come on, look at the absolute,
just absolute talent.
This is what A Flight with Friends is all about. Getting them to sing on YouTube.
The song.
It is. It's a great song. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah, we need to do that for Scotch night. So speaking of, we had our Scotch night on Saturday night that you got to come and be a part of. Katie was there.
Yes, hi Katie.
It was in the comments. That was their first time to be at Scotch night, and we did a flight of a blind flight, which I loved. Everybody brought a bottle, and Mark and Tiffany, Jared's wife, they squirreled away and did the yeoman's work of pouring out 8 drams. So we had 2 flights of 4 to get through glassware for 8 people to taste. So yeah, they poured 60. I'm doing math after 2 drams. So 64 glasses. Wow. Lots of fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Had some interesting surprises, I think.
I wish I had my note sheet that I took. Like, they gave us index cards and pens, and I have like front and back index card of notes. I wish I had. I don't know. It's around here somewhere, but whatever.
Yeah, it was. That was pretty cool. We I contributed one, which we will not say because it was actually the Camp Dram that you and I did, which I want to talk about in a minute.
Are you not revealing that? Is that a secret?
No, we're not revealing that.
Good, because I was about to probably speak it by name, so I'm glad you said something.
So yeah, ixnay on that. But the Isle of Rasse was the other one that I put in.
Yes,
so
big surprise. Yeah,
big. Yeah, people were really. I think they were pleasantly surprised of something that is that young, that was that tasty.
Well, I didn't know what to expect in terms of the peat profile, because we met Alistair at the Whiskey Academy, and like I told you on Saturday, I didn't really know what kind of spirit profile he was going for, right? So I just didn't know what to expect out of Rasse's output. Yeah. But that was a great little dram. I really enjoyed that one.
And for those who may not know, Louisiana just got Isle of Rasse in, and their core range expression, and it is lightly peated, a chinkapin oak, and rye casks. Chinkapin oak casks, so virgin oak, chinkapin, and red Bordeaux wine cask.
That's right. Cool. So cool casking.
Very well balanced, I think. It's not like you go very light on the peat, very approachable on peat. Not an Isle of Peat at all.
Right.
Really very pleasantly surprised. Loved it. Loved it. Okay, so here we go. It's the okay, so it's like Glen, same as Glen. So it is Elgin.
Right. You were right.
Okay, not Elgin, like Jen. Okay, thank you,
Disregard.
Elgin. All right,
Also,
yay.
Dad, I will bring you. I saw your comment earlier. I will bring you some Glen Grant over Easter if you're not.
We missed you, friend. We missed you. So Dustin wasn't able to attend that night, but yeah, I'll have some samples of that if you don't have that rasa yet, because I think you would enjoy it, Dustin, for sure. Yeah, whiskey plus math equal
Yay!
fun, Bill. Absolutely, and this is my Ardbeg friend I was telling you about, Bill, and so she got to go home with one of your Hypernova samples that you generously
Thank you, sir.
provided.
Much appreciated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Open that. Crack it open. It's
Ooh,
it's super. You're gonna love it.
do it, do it.
Okay, man. So let's
Start
see.
nosing this 18 just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna pour it.
Better.
So I fell in love with the 18. I mean the 16. So I'm like the 18. This again very early. This was my first big bottle. Like really big bottles. 18 years old. Wow. Again 43%. I probably would kick my butt buying an 18-year-old that was 43% nowadays.
Sorry.
But it won the Whiskey Bible, uh, um, you know, bottle of the year, which back then was kind of a big deal. Maybe not so much now, given everything about that particular award. But I was, it was 18. I wanted to try it. Man. Again, malty, kind of like the 16, huh?
It is. Let me nose the 16 again just to kind of get a, kind of sense a distinction between them.
You have to tell us what you end up getting, Mike. So would you be at Kensington Wine Market in Calgary? And if so, would you say hey to Andrew for us if he's there? Or if you run into Chad Anderson? Oh, that's funny.
So that's a probable place to run into Chad Anderson.
Yeah.
So the 18 just bourbon, yes, no sherry?
Just bourbon.
Okay.
Yep. And again, 43%. So getting back to kind of like the down low on the history on Glen Grant. So they go through some iterations. James Jr. was the Major James Grant. So that's where their NAS, the Major's Reserve, is named after. He opened up a second distillery in 1897 and then mothballed it in 1902. Then they merged with Glenlivet. So they have the Glenlivet and Glen Grant group. And there's this gentleman from Italy who absolutely loved their 5-year-old expression and would come up and would buy a lot of it. He got into working with Glen Grant, and at that point, Glen Grant still to this day, I believe, is the number one seller in Italy because everybody went nuts over it. So in 1965, they opened up that second distillery again. And this is one of those moments because what was the name of that second distillery? They called it Glen Grant number 2 for the longest. But in 65, when they reopened it, they called it
Happerdonic.
Happerdonic.
What do you know?
Happerdonic, which is now closed in 2002. You and Zach both were able to locate that low knock independent bottling of that Caperdonic 23. That was just, yeah, remember? I mean, it's like, wow, how often do you find, a closed distillery expression like that? Yep. Independent bottlers are great for that. That Brora that we had was an independent bottler. The Lonoc was another one. So yeah, really pretty cool. Then Seagram's bought them. Then they bought up. Then there was a bunch of other stuff, and ended up owned by Campari, which I think is hilarious because it went back to Italy. It just all came back together. Stats on the actual production. And I've been looking, and part of my tour, trying to figure out tours. They do the grounds look gorgeous. I love the fact, I just got validated with Andrew saying is a really cool tour. Yay. I needed, that's great knowledge to know. So it went up in the list as to a possibility. 6.2 million liters per year. I mean, they're putting out a ton of distillate.
Got 8 stills, right? Like,
yeah, 4 pairs.
Yeah.
They have 10 Oregon pine washbacks. Fermentation, I thought, was kind of early, like a minimum of 48 hours. Makes me wonder what your maximum is,
Yeah.
Interesting. But one thing I read about the stills, and I want to find out more.
Yeah, I was reading on them too.
The wash stills. So as when they come up out of the bulb and into the base of the neck where it tapers, to the base of the neck is bulbous on the spirit still, but straight.
It's like a squared off. Like,
it is on the wash still. And it makes you wonder, is it because, does it stay back in the bulb more because of that or less? I mean, it seems like there wouldn't be anything to hang on to if it's not concave,
Yeah, but it's also, I guess, just a matter of like surface area too, right?
Yeah.
So what the total surface area would be of like, this versus a squared off boiler bulb. So
right.
I'm sure it has something to do with, I'm sure it's some magic surface area equation. But they put, and yes, I have like a nerdy note sheet that I jotted stuff down on. Because yeah, I had that written down too, because I was really curious about those stills. And in the line arms, they have purifying chambers in the line arms too. So they're really going for like a lot of like reflux, extra copper contact and stuff like that. So they're really going for that like nice, light, pretty spirit.
Yeah. And it is very light. There's no heaviness to it. And I mean, you don't have a whole lot of, well, I mean, just because it's not sherry doesn't mean it can't be heavy, like heavy, because even a sherry in a particular way can be light. They're generally richer. So I guess that's associated with being heavy, but the spirit itself is very light.
It is.
Compared to something like a Glengoyne, or even
Mortlock, Benelmic, those go for like, that meteor,
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Well, also that was always an interesting thing to talk about on distillery visits is cask choice to match the spirit type you're going for, right? So I'm sure like the lighter spirit, I'm sure the ex-bourbon is a nice complement to the light, delicate spirit.
I can see where, it's going to be interesting when we get to this last SMWS.
I'm excited about the last one.
It's going to be really interesting. Yeah. Hey, he showed up.
Thank you for the door.
Your ears were burning, were they, Kevin? Because we were talking about you, and we showed the picture of the bottle holder, also known as a fish rod holder. Yeah, that's tremendous, man. Tremendous. Thank you so much. Glad you're here. I hope you got as much enjoyment of our enjoyment as we got out of that glass. So I'm just kind of going between the 16 and the 18 now.
Yeah. I mean, good fruit, good malt. The 18's nice. Also, like, and I don't know, some reviews, I don't know if some do or don't, but I mean, I also, especially if I'm going to invest in a more expensive bottle like an 18, it's also just kind of the price to perceived quality ratio, right? Because there are some 18s that are just sky high in price and some 18s that are a lot more approachable. So that if I were to splurge on an 18, you know, that kind of plays into it as well, you know.
Yep. It's interesting. I feel like the 18 is a little warmer on the back end.
It is. Yep.
And I definitely can tell. I didn't. What I found on the 16 was that it was all bourbon too, but it makes me want to think. Let me see. Let me go back and look at my cheat sheet too.
I wouldn't be surprised if the 16 had a touch of sherry. I might be completely wrong, but if
Yeah.
it did, it wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I'm the same. Because or it was first fill, where the 18 I don't think was a first fill.
Like, yeah, that's true. It could be refill.
Are you getting a little bit more oak on the 18 than the 16?
Yeah.
It's not lumberyard, but but yeah. Out of those core range, that 12 is an everyday, no thinking
For the
lovely
money,
dram.
yeah. I mean, the 18 is really quiet, just gentle and balanced overall, right? But yeah, for the money, I think the 12 is that's one of those entry level, you know, approachable bottles that is well worth the money. Kind of like the Ardbeg 10. You know, there's some 10s and 12s out there that are just worth the money.
Yeah. The 16 is still my jam, I think.
Maybe
I think it's probably still cinnamon because it's cinnamon.
Really
nice. Yeah. Okay. I needed to free up that glass.
I got all my little wee Glencairns poured. I'm ready for some SMWS.
You were good. I didn't prepare before class.
I'm a nerd. You saw me reading on my phone before we did the Camp Dram. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Camp Dram.
Oh,
so we can't tell everything about the Camp Dram, but
yes.
What we did do, so Friday night we're having that incredible roar out at the dock. We go grab a bite to eat. We go back out, have another dram. We're out there till dark 30, which was amazing because the mosquitoes didn't pick us up and take us away. We had a nice breeze to kept them most away. And then Saturday, we took a boat ride. Mark came, got the boat out, and we went in the swamp.
We saw Russell.
We took, actually, I just realized this picture has the bottle in it.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find something else. Okay, I'm gonna show this picture.
You could just show it real quick and hope they don't recognize it. No, someone's gonna recognize it.
I'm gonna show it because this is how the weekend went. Are y'all ready for this? This is how the weekend went. Mark's flying down the bayou. I'm taking the picture, and Jennifer has 2 glasses in her hand, ready to go.
Help me smell it better. One for each nostril.
Yeah. I lost my hat. The hat fell. The Scotch in the Bayou hat fell in the bayou, but we were able to get it. So that was good. I was really glad we were able to do that. But we posted up, and we're able to do a camp dram in the swamp. First time I've done a review in the swamp on the boat, which my buddy let me try. It's been requested. Let's put it that way. That we do one in the boat, and we found a good spot. It was shady for a while, and then the wind kind of picked us up. So I think it's going to be a really big treat for everybody to see. That's going to come out in a couple of weeks. It's going to take a little bit to edit that down, and
there's a lot of bullfrog noises.
There's a lot of things going back. Woody the woodpecker is out, just rat-a-tatting. There's a bullfrog that like makes these editorial comments every little bit.
Yeah,
it is really pretty funny. Really, really pretty funny for sure. That is great. So Michael's saying he'd be interested in a blind shootout between the Glenfiddich 12, Glen Grant 12, and Glenmorangie 10.
That sounds fun.
Ooh, okay. I'll put that down for sure.
Yeah, seriously, that sounds fun.
Because that Glenfiddich 12 is solid. It's actually, it's really good. And I love the 10. 12 would be great. Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah,
I
to
can do
revisit
that.
Glenfiddich. I haven't had Glenfiddich in ages. I got to revisit that. I know they do great stuff.
Yeah. So Dustin's asking me if I have a sample of the Applejack from Andalusia distilled apple cider vinegar, then proof down.
With apple juice.
No, friend, I don't think I have that. I'll have to. That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. Yes, Martin saying Scottish complexion wouldn't fare well, would reek of whiskey and sunscreen on the Bayou.
That was me.
Sunscreen is your friend, because got a little pink there. Yep, it is your friend. And that and DEET.
Yeah, we had to smell through the DEET and the sunscreen to get to the whiskey. So
it was like, oh man, I know I got DEET all up in my nose. It was like, hilarious. It was so fun. It was fun. Okay, so now we have 2 SMWS. So with the way that Glen Grant was positioned, they had a very long relationship with Gordon and MacPhail as an independent bottler, right? And our buddy, our new buddy, Richard Urquhart, I'm guessing great grandfather or grandfather was the one that started the relationship with Gordon and MacPhail and Glen Grant. So they are very open to doing independent bottlings. Someone talked about it in Alexander Murray one. Jennifer has an SMWS, and I have a SMWS. Martin had one. Jimmy Jazz had one. We're up to 252, right? This is 9.252, 252. You just got this bottle recently, like last week or so, huh?
It was like the American, like the USA release, the most recent. Do you want me to show it here?
Breakfast.
Breakfast in the Orchard. Quite cute.
Beautiful. So 250 casks just with the SMWS. So they don't mind sharing their spirit,
Well, I also read that nowadays, they're pretty. Oh yeah, it smells good. They're pretty heavy on the ex-bourbon at the distillery, but Gordon and MacPhail will still do a fair number of sherry casking bottlings. So,
and I think that we've talked a little bit about it, but we got to talk with him, Richard Urquhart, at the Victoria Whiskey Festival during his master class, and a lot of folks just think, okay, people go and buy a cask of whatever at a distillery that may not be the one off or whatever. They don't. They put in orders for actual spirit coming off the still and so many liters and when they want it. And then they match, you were talking about this earlier, they match the type of spirit they're going to get to how they want to prepare it and mature it in the cask.
Got
so
their
they
own
do that matching game.
Yeah, exactly. On what will work. So,
matching that lighter spirit with a bourbon cask makes all the sense in the world. Maybe with a light white wine cask, something like that. If you put a lighter spirit in something that's, a heavy first fill PX cask, you're probably going to have trouble finding the spirit, right. After a little while anyway. So,
And this SMWS bottle comes in at 57.7. So,
wow. This is if the orchard is in full bloom.
This smells like Glen Grant on steroids, right? Because it's like super high cask strength, that fresh fruit.
You still get the underlying malt that I got off of, especially the 16. Oh, man.
Smells like a pretty sweet, crunchy granola or something like that in there,
Yeah, I got a little. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Kevin, seriously, man, you're killing me.
Oh.
So which independent bottling is it? Bottler is it? I'm really interested to know.
I'm gonna name drop
a
it too,
30
right?
year. Telling you. So Andrew has the 25 Gordon and MacPhail Glen Grant.
Oh
And
wow.
you've tasted a 42, a 45, and a 62-year-old one.
Dang.
Andrew. Oh, friend. Do you have notes on them? Did you write it down like an epiphany or something? Because
Let
I'm
us live
thinking,
vicariously through you.
like, you need to get some scribe to like put it in gold or something. This was the
parchment.
best damn thing I've ever had, or something. Wow, that's what a fabulous opportunity. Oh, folks are going to bed now.
Good night, guys.
Family.
Thanks for joining. See you soon. I'll bring you Glen Grant samples.
You can't tell, we really like your daughter. Awesome. Yeah. I want to know who won out of that war. What was the verdict out of those?
Good question.
Gee whiz. So hey brother, good to see you too. It's so the old malt cask is the independent bottling for that.
Cool.
Oh goodness. Molasses. Now you're killing me.
Hey.
Well, aloha to you too, man. What are you doing here when you're in freaking Maui? Have a fabulous trip. Enjoy yourself. And thank you so much, friend, for coming in. Hope you have some good whiskey. You may have had to take it with you. But yeah, thanks for being here. Goodness. Okay, first sip.
Yeah, crunchy honey granola and fresh fruit.
Okay, I'm gonna say something really weird here in a minute.
Do it, say it.
Hey, Martin. His dad would drink Glen Grant his whole life. Recently joined SMWS. His first order. And he also said it was Glen Grant on steroids.
It is. It's like very distillery characteristic. You just get like all of those notes with the volume turned up.
I want to know more. Okay, so this is a first fill bourbon cask. That's what we're assuming because it said first fill cask, right?
Yeah, because they don't always say what kind, right? They'll just say like first fill or refill. Sometimes they're a bit cryptic, but I presume, I presume this is bourbon.
Okay.
Given the color.
Do you get char or any kind of smoke on this? On the finish? Or am I just weird?
Just a light toast.
Okay.
You know, like not campy or smoky, but if you like, kind of going back to the granola thing, you like toasted your grains and you got them nice and got a nice roast on them grains. But like smoke,
I don't know. No, smoke's not right. It is.
But you mean sure. I know what you mean though. Yeah.
Right there on the back end. And I have to say hello to my friend. Hey, Alan. Did you ever think you'd be tuning in and seeing me on YouTube? 2 years now. Woohoo! Thanks for being here, my friend. I hope all your people in Arkansas are safe from those storms.
Mm-hmm. No, but there's a nice heavy toastiness though. I will say that. Like,
yeah. Grainy. I mean, not like grain, not like a grain whiskey. Not that, but I think you nailed it with the toast part.
Yeah.
I was like rolled oats, like that toasted with some honey and like granola is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Granola and yogurt and fresh fruit, like dribble a little Glen Grant on top. It's breakfast.
Yeah. That's what's for breakfast. Breakfast whiskey. What are you talking about?
Breakfast whiskey.
I thought off the nose it would be much sweeter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a sweetness, and it's a little fresh. It's a fresh fruit, not a stewed fruit kind of thing.
No. Smell it next to the 12. Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to pour this next one because I want to do a side-by-side too.
I'm excited about the last one.
How are you doing on time? Yeah, big surprise.
Oh,
We're approaching adorable, and we're gonna be a little bit over
we did have 5 grams to get through. Stick around for the last one, though. I think it's worth it.
5 grams. Yeah. So definitely, I think I'm gonna have to pour a little bit of more of yours in here.
Oh no!
Oh darn!
I might too, actually. These little Glen Cairns, like a half
the
ounce.
week.
I have the wee ones. Yeah, the wee ones.
Yeah. So here are I'm gonna pop over here real quick. So here are our two. This is the 252, which is first fill bourbon. This first fill Oloroso. Big difference. Big difference on that color. Wow.
So pretty.
Wow.
I have to smell the, nice malty fumes from the bottle.
Katie.
Mm.
Any of the new SMWS bottles you're excited for? Sorry if I missed it.
They're looking at a 4-pack.
At the 4-pack. Oh wow.
I'd like to know what's in the 4-pack.
Yeah. Katie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, friend. I am so
4-packs are a good deal, right? You probably
it really does.
Bundle it up. Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
So full disclosure, I've had this bottle for a while. It is 9.158, so almost 100 back. So I've had it. This is a 22-year first fill Oloroso hogshead at 59.2. Coming in hot.
I mean,
okay, so
the nose wouldn't say so. I mean, that's
no, not at all. I mean, you can take a deep cleansing breath with this and not
dab this behind my ears.
It's like, hey, hey, honey.
Hey.
Oh, that's funny.
It smells outstanding.
Oh man. So I want to drink this 22-year-old neat, and then I want to put a bit of water on both of them.
Mm-hmm. I put water in the one before it. Oh, it's still hot on the palate. That's good though.
Okay, so the name of this 22-year-old in the Oloroso is Heavyweight Cake. Okay, so you had breakfast in the orchard, and now you're having dessert.
Time for some heavyweight
cake. Mm-hmm. Both of these drink to their name. How many times have we laughed at SMWS names, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are spot on.
They are.
You could not be more accurate with these. That's for sure. So, Michael was asking if the 62-year-old Glen Grant was $100,000. And Andrew says, no, it's a big bargain. It was 5,000 pounds. So probably about $6,500. Or you could do a break-even dram at 150 pounds, which would be probably like 185, I'm guessing.
But if you really want to try something,
a 62-year-old that would actually be older than me.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like having alligator in Isla, don't you think?
I know someone who shelled out money for a dram of alligator on Isla. She almost bought a dram of Lord of the Isles, too.
Oof. Next time.
Why didn't I? Yeah, it just gives me a reason to go back to Isla.
Next time. Oh, me.
Oh, this heavyweight cake. Oh, my
gosh. Heavyweight cake, I'm getting almost, I mean, you're getting you're getting all the Oloroso kind of stewed fruits, a little drier, not raisiny so much.
Dried dates.
Dates, and there's almost like a pine element in there. Oh man, like an evergreen, not just very, very faint. Doesn't it's just like sitting up under all that stewed fruit.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty. I'm trying not to get distracted by the chat, but I see Andrew had some more to the Isles.
Yum. For
that heavyweight cake is something. 22 years old, you said?
Yeah, 22. So let's see. So I'll read this one. Dried orange skin and cherries brought us to spiced cake mix and burnt toffee, prunes, and
Mm-hmm.
charred wood. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I get the charred wood for
There's the
sure.
wood and the pruny,
I
like the
think
dried
that's my
birch wood.
pine element. I
I think
think
it is
that's
too.
kind of
Yep.
previously in ex bourbon hogshead, then in first fill Oloroso. So it's both. It's not
Yeah. It
completely
wasn't
Oloroso.
total. Yeah, Oloroso. I can see that.
Okay.
How long was it? Because that makes it. I mean, it's got some good color on it, so I
It's
presume
got good color on it, but
kind of,
if it's
you
first
know,
fill Oloroso, I would still say the majority of it was probably bourbon because
okay.
it's not sickly sweet. I mean, for
Not at
22
all.
years
Not at
and
all.
exclusively, or
It's
even the
not sweet, but
majority,
it's still rich. I mean, it's
Mhm.
like, yeah,
It's more dimensional
absolutely.
than the core range. But what is that finish taste?
Aside from orange peels,
I think it is the citrus peel.
it's
Yeah.
orange peel. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Golly.
Like
So,
straight up peel, like borderline
yeah.
bitter. Not in a bad way, right? But yeah.
No, almost like you got a peel and you're making an
Uh-huh.
old fashioned and you
Yeah.
express it and it's got kind of that oily,
Yep.
pungentness to it.
I
Not
love
off-putting.
no, I love detailed tasting notes like that. You know how when you like squeeze an orange peel to make an old fashioned and
You
it's
make
like,
an old
yeah, it's
fashioned in
that.
Louisiana. I can't tell you how many were made after winning a national championship. Um, so
Well,
going back
that's
on the nose on your orchard, it is a bright spring fresh day. We're walking. It's cherry blossoms,
we're
pear
frolicking. We're
blossom,
skipping. We're skipping in the orchard.
apple. I mean, like you're in an orchard and everything is blooming. Okay. A little bit of vanilla in there, maybe a little whiff of honey. What are the notes on your bottle? Do you have it handy?
Well, what's frustrating about it is there's nothing on the bottle, but give me just a second.
Oh, that's right, because it's
I'll look
that
it up.
exclusive
No worries.
thing.
Let me see.
Pardon me as I whip out my digital device.
Moment.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, here SMWS 9.252.
A bitter, oily orange rind. Yeah. Not so much. It's more the oily. It's more the oily orange that I'm getting. But yeah, that same. I, sometimes I'll get like that pith taste, like the white part of an orange or a grapefruit. That kind of dry, pithy kind of
Right.
thing. Man. But
Oh,
yeah.
and if I didn't specify earlier, by the way, 14 years old. This is as you can probably tell by the way we're describing the taste, it's the light purple, the sweet, fruity, and mellow category, which
Yeah.
makes sense, honestly.
And mine's deep, rich, and dried fruits,
Which is a lovely category.
which we all kind of gravitate to.
And oil and coastal all the way.
Yeah.
This distillery's popularity among members has skyrocketed in the last few years, so we're delighted to share this 14-year-old sweet, fruity, mellow cask with you. Seamless marriage of honey, vanilla, chocolate confections with tropical fruit and warming spices.
Look at that.
Boom. There you go.
Honey vanilla like.
And it was a lottery. It was a lottery drawing bottle.
I know you were the lucky girl.
I was. I was coming to see you. I knew I had to buy it.
And I'm a lucky girl because I got really good whiskey friends. Can you tell? You're all here tonight. Yay.
I do. We talk about this all the time. I love how excited everybody gets, how everyone's like, I have this great bottle. I want to share it with you. I love how everybody just shares and gets excited and wants to just, it's such a great community.
So I'm not quite sure I know which bottle that you missed there, but you were bringing another soul into the world, Martin. You have a higher presence. You'll get an even better bottle next time, friend. I promise. I really do. Okay, so I want to put some water on these now. Again, do I have enough?
I mean, listen.
I keep drinking and it's like, woof.
Because it's delicious.
Everybody gonna sleep good night? Raise your hand.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm just gonna do just a few drops.
I mean, there's
Get
even
that
like
one
a little bit.
going.
There's even a little bit of peanuts in that granola in this breakfast in the orchard. You know, it's like some
Yeah,
peanuts and almonds kind of hanging out in that granola. There's a nice, pretty, just barely nutty whiff to it.
quarts need to get wet. Okay, little in the heavyweight cake. Yeah, 57. What? Wait, I got
57.7. Yeah, it's
57.7 and 59.2. They can handle some water.
they can.
Swirling, 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 swirling. No, it's not. No dickle in this house, man. Keep it clean.
Fine then almonds.
Yeah, this community does rock. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, just I am humbled every day. So the YouTube funds, the distillery, I mean the super chats and all that were culminating all of those. You know, I've my big epic trip coming in literally 7 weeks from tomorrow. 7 weeks from tomorrow.
It's gonna go fast.
It's gonna be here before you know it. So I am booking tours now like mad. And in the coming weeks, I'm gonna go and kind of disclose all the different places that I'm gonna end up going. And in a couple of weeks, I think we're still playing with dates, but we're going to do a blind with Gregor, Time for a Dram. If you remember this time last year, he was getting ready to go on his epic Caledonian run, is what he called his trip with all his bro dude friends. And they had a fabulous time. He sent me a blind based on his travels. Well, turnabout's fair play because I'm sending him a blind based on where I'm going to go. So I kind of want to get that done before I disclose because I don't want him cheating and figuring out where I'm going.
Oh my gosh, that's so
and
fun.
figuring out those drams, you know? Okay. So we got some water working on these. Thanks for everybody sticking around. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. You snuck in there on me, friend. Do you have any Glen Grant in amongst all that lovely Highland Park?
Ooh,
Okay, so the water on the breakfast in the orchard, the nose just went pow. I'm getting a lot more sweetness on that, more floral on the nose even now.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the bottle. I love that there's little, I'm sure it's the power of suggestion, but there's adorable little bumblebees on the bottle. But I was thinking like honey and the blossoms on the trees in the early spring. I mean, it's got that beautiful aromatic nose to it.
Oh, man. Oh, so it was an oily and coastal 26.
Mm.
What's 26? Oily and coastal anything, especially 93. That's my jam.
That's your jam.
Yeah.
Can I cheat and look up what 26 is?
Yes, please do. Because I'm like, I really want to know.
One moment, please.
Probably going to tell us, but so yeah, Gregor has yeah, I know the guy's been traveling a lot for work. It's really, I mean, because I understand totally. It's now that the world is back, everybody's busy. It's really hard to kind of get Klein Leash.
Oh, yum.
Double dog, dang. If Kevin is still on right now, there was a primal scream that came out of Kevin because I do believe he is a Klein Leash fanboy.
I love Klein Leash. I do too. It's really good.
Man. I'm here for it. Tuesdays have become my favorite night. Grams and hanging out with y'all. Well, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Kevin's been a man of few words tonight, but they've been right on. Yes, we see you. Yeah. So I've booked my Klein Leash tour. So just so you know. Um,
Lucky.
yeah, it's I'm super stoked about that. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got some really cool things. Y'all, the amount of content, these tours that I'm taking and things I'm doing over in Scotland, I'm trying to get time with distillery managers to be able to do some interviews with them. I'm really excited because I'm pleasantly persistent. Let's just put it that way. And so yeah, I'm really stoked. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh, you're gonna have a wonderful time.
I I I definitely put too much on the schedule at first, and I've had to kill some darlings, which
I
hurt.
mean, A, that means you have to go back, and B, I mean, it's normal to get excited, right? You want to just kind of like put it all in one trip, but
It is, and
I'll go
I'm
back.
doing
I'll
a
go to
lot.
Orkney with you when you go back.
Yes, and then we'll go to Wick. But I
Okay.
was hell bent on going to Old Pulteney, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
it's going to eat up an entire day. So
Right.
if I'm going to, I mean, if we go to Highland Park, we go to Orkney, you're practically in Wick anyway, so you might as well. So yeah,
So I'll
we'll
just
get
stop
there.
and say, hey, yeah.
So Kevin's a little green right now. That's all right, friend. I predict a sussy will be coming back your way. Oh man, I can't get over the nose on this orchard. The
Oh,
breakfast
I'm on
on the
the
orchard.
heavyweight cake, so I'm like visiting a completely different sensory rabbit hole. The sherry's balanced, right? Because I mean, if it's a lot of bourbon maturation on the heavyweight cake, you get some of the sherry influence, but it's not overpowering the spirit, right? So it's really, really well done.
Yeah. So let me see if I follow you here, Jim. A few tins from pre-branding change about 5 years ago. Oh yeah, they did totally redo all their branding, and the 15-year-old in the collection, it just has a taste of nice 17-year dimension from Duncan Taylor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I love also Duncan Taylor, SMWS, Gordon MacPhail, Alexander Murray. You know, they're not bashful about sharing and selling off their spirit. That's for sure. And it's 6.2 million liters a year. They're pumping it out for sure. Yeah. So again, God, y'all killing me with these vintages, man.
Yeah,
A
what are you guys getting these
23,
wines?
39, and 49 year. Mm, mm. I'm hoping to find a couple of those kind of unicorn things
Mhm.
over on my trip. One of the places I'm staying is called the Whiskey Gables in Dufftown, and it's an Airbnb. Well, it's a B&B that is has a whiskey lounge, and they
Well,
have over 400 bottles, I think.
you told me
So
to follow them on Instagram, and I do,
yes,
and they
Whiskey
have
Gables on
really nice
Instagram.
posts.
Y'all, I mean, I just want to see the bottles. I just want to go see what they have, you know? And so you can do a flight there at the house. So what a wonderful way. You go, you do your tours, you go see, you know, the landscape is so gorgeous up in there. You know, castles everywhere. And then you come home, you know, come back to the place and you just want to have a nice dram. There's an entire lounge filled with um, shelves of bottles. So I'm really excited that that worked out
Well, and
for
you'll
sure.
meet friends and fellow enthusiasts there too,
Oh
so you
yeah,
might come home with some new friends.
yeah. And I've followed them probably for the last 5 years. So and they're you know we like each other's posts on Instagram. And finally, when I was putting everything together, they had one room left, one room, and I was like, okay, it's mine. It won't let me book. And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, are you serious? You're coming? I'm like, yes, I'm coming. You know, so it's gonna be fun. And I've had to kill off some of those things that when it like we're not going to Aaron. That's almost killed me. Those like because
You do
everybody knows how
need
much I love
to,
Aaron.
yeah,
But logistically, I want to enjoy it, and that's the thing too about
don't
planning a
rush it.
trip.
Don't
It's
rush it.
not just boom, 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 boom. Just you're in a completely different environment. Enjoy it. You know, yes, whiskey is very centric to this this whole entire trip. But, the day we get back is our anniversary. So this whole trip is going to be, that first week, yes, is all about me and space. I'll be by myself. Then Mark comes in to Glasgow, and we'll meet up with a bunch of barflies, and of course that head barfly, also known as Roy.
The head barfly.
And and then we head
It's
up.
a badge, head barfly.
Head barfly. Then we start island hopping. I mean, the amount of stress that is off of me now that I have all my ferries booked. I was just like, how am I going to get from this island to that island, and then back off, and then down the island, and then onto the mainland? I mean, it's a lot, but I'm so stoked that we're there, and it's 7 weeks away.
I think I'd deliberately get stranded on Isla and just accidentally never go home. Just saying.
I have been asked at work a couple of times if I was coming back. One of my coworkers is to say,
"You're like,
oh, your trip's coming up. You're gonna be over there for like 3 months, right?" And I went, only if I wish.
You're like, or 3 years. Like, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I was like, no, it's 3 weeks. I think my family would be in a boat rowing across the Atlantic to yank my ass back home if I was over there for 3 months.
My parents would be like, we saw it coming. Just check in with us now and then.
Right. Exactly.
Tasting back down the line, the first 3 are just quite gentle little things compared to the cask strength territory. They're great though.
Yeah.
The whole lineup was great.
It was very solid, and I get in the mood for different things at different times.
Absolutely.
The heavyweight cake is not an everyday dram, which is why I've had this bottle forever. Because it is heavy. It's there's a lot of layers, a lot of things going on there.
Dude, like, try the 18. Jump back to the 16. There's something about the 16 that just kind of jumps out. That's. I mean, I might be totally wrong. The 16, like, again, if there was a little smidge of sherry on the 16, I would not.
I really think I think you're onto something there.
Has to be.
Yeah, because it's when you look at the 12, we know the 12 has some sherry, not a lot. 18 is completely bourbon.
It is.
Your 14 SMWS is all bourbon. That sherry is just up. I mean, just off of that variance of flavor. A little bit more on the sweet, and even the color is a little bit more.
Right.
It's got that little red tinge to it.
Yes. There's something going on there.
So how is the heavyweight cake with water for you?
I didn't add a lot, but I mean, I like to add a bit of water. It just sort of
There you go.
It should. Agree completely. I mean, even just the empty glass of the heavyweight cake. You know how much fun it is to go back and smell an empty glass.
Yeah, I don't clean any of my glasses at night. I'll just let them air dry.
Then you make your coffee the next morning.
I make my coffee the next morning. I get really proud of myself for being up early on a Wednesday after a live stream. And then I sit here and I look like Jennifer in the picture. That was awesome.
Smelling Scotch is
cool.
fun.
Do we need to bring that picture back up? I think we do. Yep. Because one glass isn't enough.
You handed me your glass to take the picture. What'd you expect?
You didn't even drop the glass. Yeah, we had so much fun. I don't know how many gators did we see. We saw Big Russell.
That's why I said that.
We saw Big Russell.
We saw Russell.
Y'all, boy got girth.
He's biggin'. Yeah, he's big.
He's a big ass gator. So Russell is probably about 14, 16. I don't know. He's 16 feet. He's probably at least 14 feet long.
Whatever. He's a big ass gator, like you said.
Girth, like He's big. He's big. And our neighbor thought he was a tractor tire when she first saw him. She's like, "Who in the hell would throw a tractor tire up on the shore, just up there on the bank of this little pond area?" It's called Russell's Pond, so that's why the gator is named Russell. And then
Russell's like, who you calling a tractor tire?
yeah, and all of a sudden the tractor tire starts turning and slithering down and going in. You watched him go into the water, right? I mean,
I
you watched him
did.
just kind of disappear, and the amount of mass of that animal. And then he shows up like with his nose that big out of the water, and you don't know all of that is under the water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason our dogs don't ever go in the water because they would be like gator food.
There's a reason I asked you if the gators came near the boats too, because we're like drifting along, like, "Hey, Russell."
Well, thankfully, there are some tours in the area, but they don't come into Russell's Pond, and they don't come in like back when we went into Alligator Cove where that houseboat was.
Mhm.
Sometimes you'll see one there. That particular group does not feed the gators. There's some that they want to like throw stuff out to attract the gators for the tourists. And this one tour company that goes up into Bonanza Bay, they don't do that. So thankfully, because we don't need that complication in our life. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that you were able to come down and come over.
I wasn't kidding about making it a quarterly visit.
Girl, your room's ready whenever you are. Let's get your happy ass over here.
Woohoo!
Awesome. Well, I think we did a lot on these 5 trails.
We did. My 5 wee pours are empty.
Now I'm getting bananas on your orchard, your breakfast in the orchard.
I'm still just sort of musing over the 16. That's the last little spot I have left to.
Wow. Yeah. Man, oh man, oh man.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yes. Andrew, if I only had unlimited resources, I would be buying a distillery in Scotland, and all y'all can just come up and I have a place for you to stay too.
Leanne's Whiskey Academy.
Careful. Yeah, awesome. I hate you lost the internet thing. I understand that.
Yes, Russell's an alligator.
Russell is an alligator. A big ass alligator. Big alligator. Like your worst nightmare kind of alligator. Not like bears on cocaine, but definitely a big alligator. Man, Glen Grant cherry bomb. That's what heavyweight cake is.
Yeah, which is like
a light spirit. But don't you get the underlying spirit still? Even under that heavy cherry?
It's balanced and it's well done, right? So they didn't overdo. Because if it's a first fill Oloroso, like I wouldn't imagine you could finish that in it for too terribly long without it overwhelming the spirit. So the balance is great.
So let me clarify that, because I thought it was completely at first all Oloroso. It was bourbon hogshead first and then Oloroso. But it was in that Oloroso long enough to really put a dent in the taste profile for it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Man. Can I tell you how fancy I thought I was when I bought a 22-year-old bottle from SMWS? I'm all
that is fancy.
I feel fancy, you know.
I'm fancy.
I'm so fancy. I got me an 18. Woo. I got me a 16. I'm all fancy in that. Meanwhile, people are talking about 40s and 50s and 60s. And I'm like,
yeah, whatevs. I'd like a 62-year-old. Yeah.
Aren't you cute with your 22-year-old? It's not a competition. It's not a competition. And that's why I love the community. I love all about this, because it isn't a competition. It's like, I want you, Jennifer, to be able to share this. So you get the 22 and you're sharing your, breakfast in the orchard with me. And I love that part of it. There's so much sharing, and because you get joy out of somebody else's joy. What now?
I said, I'll have breakfast in the orchard with you any day.
I know. Yay. Yay.
Picnic.
So you were saying you were hoping you get invited when Angus and Johnny get their distillery. Okay. Well, hopefully so. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, me. Um, and your dad or your mom. I just
Dad's gone to bed. That's definitely mom.
Mom, Judy,
Hi,
thank
mom.
you for my
Julie.
makeup bag. Judy made me a makeup bag, and I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore it. It's too far out of reach to grab it. It's going to Scotland with me, friend. So thank you so much. And your daughter is adorable. You did great. You won the mom thing. Okay, let me just say that. Man, this was one. Did everybody have fun tonight? I hope you did. I hope you learned a little bit more about Glen Grant. Not exactly always one of those big off the shelf names. I would say if you encounter an independent bottling of Glen Grant, say a Single Tory or a Gordon MacPhail, an Alexander Murray, go check out your Costco's for Alexander Murray's, and see if you spy any Glen Grants on that. Grab it. I would say almost it's an auto buy, just because their underlying spirit is very nice. Consider the casking. If it's something that was just like, if it's deep, dark, can't look through it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a sherry head, yeah, grab it. I think this spirit is a little light for a complete, 22-year Oloroso experience.
But I think a good independent bottler is going to know that.
They're going to know that. They're going to know how to match that spirit with the cask. Full disclosure, I am a huge fan of Richard Urquhart for Gordon MacPhail. They know their stuff. Their connoisseur line, that was the first independent bottling, and how the Gordon MacPhail hooked up with Glen Grant. So that line is still going today. I went.
Are you going to go to their shop? Are you going to go to their shop when you're there?
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah, that's a gorgeous shop. Oh my, you're gonna flip out. You're not gonna know what to do. Because they have a lot of really good whiskey in there.
I'm gonna be poor, and I have been saving up. So the support for the channel through the memberships of the Camp Drams and the super chats and all of that, I've been saving those dollars, and I was able to do some really cool stuff at the Victoria Whiskey Festival. Now I'm saving those for Scotland, and one of the things that I've been able to do is I was able to book the barley to bottle experience at Springbank because of the support from the channel. So you're going to get that back in tenfold, members, and everyone who's helping support the channel, whether it's a like or being able to do the super chats or being able to be a member. All of those things are helping me bring more content to the channel. And I really do super appreciate that, because we're going to have some fun. Once I get back, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so busy with video and trying to bank all this stuff and get it back out to everybody. For sure. Awesome. Let's see. Whiskey Franco says, I always feel fancy ordering an SMWS until I read the name that says pencil shavings in a lock.
Hey, I would buy that bottle.
I would too. I can just imagine.
I would 100% buy that bottle.
This new wood and just that would be awesome.
Whenever so I have to say really quick, after we went to the academy and I met my dad in Edinburgh afterwards, the academy, the Isla Academy, was the first time I even heard of the SMWS. And so
when John was doing the dinner,
I was like, what the hell's the SMWS? And then I tasted like a 26-year-old Lefroy called Remembrance of Fruits Past, and I was like, damn, I want to be part of this club, So like Venka and Ivan, that sweet little couple, were in Edinburgh for one night when me and my dad were there. They took us to the vaults, and it was just a wonderful evening. I know you're going to be to the vaults and you're going to love it, but it was really my first experience with the SMWS, and I was reading the menu just laughing at the names. There was one called, it was an oily and coastal category. Of course it was. And it was called Furtive Kisses in a Chip Van. And I was like, I want this. So I went up to the bar. They're like, yeah, we're out. And I was like, "Mm." So I never
Furtive
got to
kisses
try
in a
Furtive
chip
Kisses in a
van.
chip van. Like I
Oh
would
my
look it
gosh.
up and see if I even know what distillery it is at this point. But like,
I mean, I can just, oh my goodness.
what you're stealing kisses in the back of a greasy fish and chips van, I guess.
I would so be there.
I know.
I would so be there. Hey, Loch Ness, good to see you,
Hi.
friend. Oh, family comes first. What are you talking about? Absolutely. Um, yeah, we're gonna end here in a little bit. We're an hour and we're a half an
Yeah,
hour
we gotta
over, but
go.
it's okay. It's all right. We're really approaching before the show. I told I told Jennifer, I sent her a text that said the odds of us being adorable by the end of this are highly probable. I think we're there. I think we pretty much are there. Just finished with work. Oh, boo. I'm
Oh.
sorry you have to work so long. Still going strong. Hey, Arnie and George and Amy. Good to see you, friend. Um, everybody Wayne Chung tonight. You are so dating yourself, but I'm right there with you. Everybody Wayne Chung tonight.
Fantastic.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Adore it. That's awesome. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's 26
Huh?
oiling and coastal. What did we say that was?
Cleanlish.
Clean leash.
Is
Yeah.
there more left? Because I kind of want
Sounds like there isn't. The
to.
oil that's the one I think Ben Dietrich from SMWS did a video on oiling coastal. I think yesterday or this or earlier before now. Yeah, that is my SMWS profile for sure.
Me too.
Oof. What is it? That was the Bunnahabhain that you got up in Victoria, huh?
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
I was looking. Well, the fact that you could buy SMWS from a bottle shop, I was like, yeah,
yeah.
this is awesome. And I was looking at the offerings, and I mean, gosh, not to sound all stuck up or anything, but I was looking at the offerings and I was like, I don't know. Cause they're not cheap. They're an investment. So I was just kind of looking, and dude comes around the corner. And he's like, we have some more Bunnahabhain left. And I was like, excuse me?
Bunnahabhain, what?
He
Buna?
was like,
You
yeah, he
had
was
me
like,
at
yeah, it's
Buna.
Bunnahabhain. I was like, excuse me? I was like, gimme.
Oh,
He gives me the bottle, and I'm just like, precious.
wait. I bet I can find that picture.
Oh, no, there's a picture.
Let me see if I can find that picture because it is a riot, y'all. I'm gonna find it. Just a second.
I just saw Andrew's comment. The furtive kisses in a chip van was a Dalmore.
Really?
Whoa. I bought an oily and coastal Dalmore from SMWS at one point. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I remember buying a Dalmore that was that category at one point. Yum. I'm still sad I missed out on furtive kisses in a chip van.
I don't have that picture. Why don't I have that picture here? Oh, yeah. So we're in the bottle shop, the Strath in Victoria, and she's
Great.
hanging on to this Buna like it's her firstborn child. It's great.
I was excited.
It was so great. It was so great. It was awesome. I'm starting to look. Oh, I know. All right, I've pulled up the Barrel Thief pictures. It was a Glen Scotia. We did not have. I did not have.
I could have sworn you had a Glen Grant, but maybe not.
It's definitely a Scotia because I'm a Scotia girl.
No, the Scotia was the free pour he gave us. Remember that he gave us a little nip?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Nick,
bonus
I
card.
had a Linkwood. What's 20? Somebody help me out. Is it 7 or 71? 71. Oh, Glenbergie.
Maybe that's, I don't know.
Because they put a sticker on the bottle that said Glenbergie.
Glenbergie.
And I had the Glenbergie because Kevin in the chat, had given me a Glenbergie 21 to try.
Oh, nice.
And then 48, which is Dominic.
Couple.
That was Worm Tub Stodge.
I just ordered that one because it was called Worm Tub Stodge, just for funsies.
Yeah, but the Scotia, the 93.153, unusually unique.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have that. I gotta have that Glen Scotia. So very good.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So Martin says I need to get the SMWS Dalmore. Just don't bother with them normally. Yeah, the distillery ones. Yeah, I can't get past the coloring. Oh, folks, get that shit out of there. Oh, it drives me nuts.
The SMWS
Yeah.
Dalmores I've liked though.
I had an Alexander Murray 15 or 19 year. Exquisite, unadulterated Dalmore is fabulous. I have a 15 I haven't cracked open yet. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So Mr. SMWS, also known as George Kaplan, has a 63.90, 49, that low for an SMWS bottle. Crazy. 102 bottles that were allocated. Label says 131. Wonder who got those other 29 bottles. See, I'm still doing math.
I'm very impressed.
Math. Some greedy angels there. Yeah, for sure, bud. Martin, I think you could put that out in the universe, and I think somebody could get you a sample of that.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm still bitter about a particular Bunnahabhain that I missed out. And I really got mad because SMWS shopping cart was the most archaic thing ever. It was like Fisher Price, my first shopping cart website. It just drove me.
The Fisher Price, my first shopping cart program.
I got 8 minutes to buy my tickets. Give me 8 minutes to make a transaction on SMWS, for God's sake. Don't get me started.
Fisher Price, my first shopping cart. Tell our programmers that. Tell them, they're like doing the Fisher Price level job of coding.
I know. The Altmore
as a consolation prize.
I'm sorry, friend. I feel bad for you because that ain't even close. So no nonsense. Vin. I love Vin. Did a pretty good Dalmore IB. Yeah, he's I need to go back. Andrew from Scotch for Dummies was here a year ago, visiting us here at the camp, and he left one of Vin's bottles. He had a bottle from Vin. Vin is no nonsense whiskey, and he's starting to kind of do some barrel picks and different things. Super sweet guy. I got to meet him in Austin at the Bastards Ball, and that was an experience. He wanted to go to sleep at 2:00 in the morning, and Roy was making fun of him, and Andrew, take this the best way possible. But Roy said, "No, you can't leave yet. You have to have your Jacadores dram, which is your at the door dram, And he's like, "No, I'm knackered. I'm tired." He's like, "I gotta go to sleep." And he's like, No, you gotta stay. You gotta stay up with everybody. And it's like, "No." And Roy made a comment about the lack of English fortitude, and needless to say, it went over really fun. But Roy, it was all fun and games, and Ben made a particular hand gesture to Roy, and then it was all laughter and fun after that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Roy's a good guy. Yeah, I bet we can find somebody who's got that, and we can get a dram to you some way, somehow, Martin. I know. FOMO is real. I'm still bitter about that Boona.
I think I was going for the same one. I think we are like, I think there was that same. Was it a?
It was in my cart. It was in my freaking cart.
Was it a peated one?
Yeah.
I was going for the exact same one. Yep.
Oh. Hella drams. Good for you, Glen Grant. You go. You're
Thank
not
you
afraid
like
to do
that.
your own thing. You're not afraid to sell off your spirit so other people can go and play with the whiskey. Um, yeah, good stuff, guys. Um, I hope I hope y'all all have had a lot of fun tonight. I know I have because this woman is so near and dear to my heart. You know, we didn't know each other. So I guess we're at the end of the night and we're finally saying how we know. You know, we didn't know each other going into the Isla Whiskey Academy. We were roommates there, and just I don't know, something clicked, and I was
Now we're
like,
whiskey besties.
That's my bud. That's my girl. She knows me. She can put up with my happy ass. We're all good. Um, when you live with folks for a week and you don't know them, you know them by the end of the week. Let me
Yeah,
just put
that
it
could
that
go
way.
either way, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it could go good or bad real fast, real fast. But thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate it. Those are hanging on for almost
Yeah.
45 minutes afterwards. My friend, please come back quarterly. I'll be over in May. God knows what we'll get into over there.
Rams
We're
and
gonna go
concerts.
see
Yeah.
Lewis
Yes.
Capaldi, who is a Scottish singer. We're gonna do his concert. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna pregame with some really good drams.
As we should.
And
As we
and
should.
I'm also I'll hit him up on social media and tell him that we've got some really good whiskey and see how far that gets us. Because you never
Do
know.
it. Do
It could
it.
happen. It could happen. But yeah, Tuesday nights, y'all. Who knew Tuesday nights could be this much fun?
Tuesday ever.
Ever. Thank you all for all the support, guys. Andrew, go to sleep. Get some sleep, friend. Um, thank you all. I appreciate it. Held up, Jennifer. I'll see you in the background in a
Sounds good.
bit. We'll say tonight, and that's already gone. I got a little 16 left. I'm gonna go with the 16.
Oh
Thanks
darn!
again.
I'll re-pour something to enjoy in the
Re-pour
background.
something so you can say Aslanji, y'all. Y'all, thanks so much. Love you much. We'll see you next week. Sandra, y'all.
Sanchi, y'all.